Okay, so welcome to vocab class. So here we go again. So let's continue. Okay, on the first word, we have the word advice, which is a common word. So when we say advice, we mean to say that we're trying to suggest. A synonym for this one is recommend, tell, to inform. Next one, encourage. And also to simply give a notification. To notify. Okay, so the synonym of the word advice is suggest, recommend, tell, inform, encourage, and notify. So this advice acts as a verb. Okay, so let's focus on their antonym. So the antonym of the word advice is from the word encourage. Just add the prefix this plus the word encourage. Disencourage. Next, we have here dissuade. Okay, so again, when we say advice, we mean to say we give suggestion or recommendation, or we're trying to notify someone about something, and the antonym for this one is simply disencourage. So let's go on with the example. The teacher, advised, let's have past tense, the students to study very hard in English. Okay, so the teacher advised the students to study very hard in English. So the word advice here, focusing on the teacher's recommendation, and that recommendation is that the students should study very hard in English. Okay, so that is the meaning of the word advice. Again, when we say advice, we mean to suggest, we recommend, we simply tell, we inform, we encourage, we notify. The antonym is disencourage, dissuade. So when we say advice, you are giving an opinion towards the other person. Example, your friend has a problem and you're giving an advice to your friend to do what to do, okay, regarding that problem, and the other person's decision is still up to the person if he or she will follow your advice. That's why we call that advice. We mean to say we just recommend. Okay, next we go with the second word. We have here number 2, current. Okay, so current has a lot of meaning, but here current acts as an adjective. Okay, so what is the synonym for the word current? It means something that is up to date. Okay, so when we say up to date, something that is what we call latest, new. Also, current means present, and also sometimes it means common. Although current sometimes have a different meaning, like the current of the waves. Okay, so that is a different one. Current there act as a noun. Okay, so current past, our antonym would be from the word up to date. Okay, so we will put the word out outdated or out of date. And here, the word outdated, we can make it updated. Okay. Next. Out of style or out of fashion. Okay. So when we say out of fashion, this is somewhat like traditional, and we call that old. So from this word old and traditional, old has here new, and when we say traditional, we can have an emphasis of being modern. Yes. Next one. So current means something that is up to date or updated, something that is latest or popular, new, present, modern, common. Antonym means outdated, out of date, out of style, out of fashion, something that is old or traditional. Okay, so this is common with fashion. There are what we call old fashion, or we have here nowadays the modern fashion. Okay, so this is always changing. We call that dynamic, always changing. So current here again as our adjective. So let's have an example. Let's use JK. Okay. JK's fashion trend is current. Okay, so we can add more. He wears up to date clothes. Okay, JK's fashion trend is current. He wears up to date clothes. So here I uses two adjectives, current and up to date. So all of this, the word that I use here has the same meaning. So fashion trend here is nowadays. So that's why we call that trend, okay? The style, okay? Trend here means the style. So he wears up-to-date clothes. Or we can say updated clothes, which is best. Also, we can also use the word latest. Right now, nowadays, we have a lot of latest technologies, such as phones, cell phones, camera, like that. So we can call that also current. Current news. An example also is, I watch the current news. Okay? They always say current news because every news is new. Right? Okay? So I watch the current news, meaning is what's happening right now in our society is always broadcast by means of news. So I hope you got the word current. Next, let's go with our third word. We have here the word deprive. Let's find out what is the meaning of the word deprive. Okay, so deprive here act as our verb, which means something that is taken away from us, something that is what we call confiscated. Okay. Confiscate is the best word. Example, you are in the middle of the class and suddenly you have this cell phone, you're using this cell phone, and then the teacher got angry to you, so the teacher will confiscate your cell phone, meaning is you won't use it yet. Okay, so after the class. So that is the best word for that. The teacher took away your cell phone. Next one. To keep from. Okay. Hinder. Okay. So this deprive meaning here is something that is taken away, confiscated, to keep from, and to hinder. Okay, so the antonym for this word. So we have here, when someone has taken away from you, something has given to you. Next, something that is bestowed. Something that you indulge. Next one. So deprive again meaning take away, confiscate, keep from, hinder, give, bestow, indulge. So deprive act as our verb. So let's focus on the sentence. African children are deprived from healthy foods and proper education. Okay. So the best example in the sentence, African children are deprived from healthy foods and proper education. Because as we know that African children are, most of them are what we call malnourished. So when we say the word malnourished, it's another vocab, meaning is they do not have enough or sufficient nutrition in their health. So they normally become so thin. And so they are being deprived from healthy foods. So they normally have a lot of diseases or sickness, and they don't really have a proper education. So we are very lucky that we are being educated, right? So African children are malnourished because they are deprived from good things in our society. So I hope you understand the word deprive. Next, we go with the fourth word, hesitate. Hesitate. Okay, so hesitate here act as our verb. So this word means a lot actually, and this is sometimes common to Korean students. So what do we mean by the word hesitate? So let's key in the synonym we have here. The word doubt. Okay. Next, we have also the word hold back. Next, we also have the word unwilling. Next, we also have the word unsure. So from the synonym, we can make our antonym. Okay. So from the word unwilling, someone who is willing. Okay. Next, from the word unsure, someone who is sure, or we call certain. Meaning is the person is not in doubt, the person is very sure. Next, we also have the word continue. Okay, because when we say the word hold back, you pause. Okay, you hold still. But when we say the word, the antonym of the word hesitate, you go on, you continue. Next one is, we also have, okay, so hesitate as a synonym. I have another one, reluctant. So reluctant is a very common word instead of the word hesitate. So another example for this, okay, let's do it in a sentence. Most Korean students hesitate to speak English in front of the class. Most Korean students hesitate to speak English in front of the class. Okay, so what does it mean? Most students have difficulty in speaking English, and they are really shy to speak out what they know, although they know it. So because of that word hesitation, which is a noun, okay? So hesitation as a noun. Okay, so which act as a noun. So they feel shy, and they always think that they will be embarrassed in front of people, but because of English, right? So from this grammar, you can see that Korean students, right? Because it has plural, so the word here is singular. Okay, so the Korean student hesitate to speak English in front of the class. They are having a nervous, okay? So I hope in your case, you can speak in front of the class using English and practice speaking English. Next one. Next, the fifth word we have here is minimum. Minimum. What do we mean by the word minimum? Minimum here is an adjective. Okay. When we say minimum, we call this least. We call this also smallest. Also lowest. Okay. Next one. The antonym for this word. From the word least, let's focus on the word greatest. From the word smallest, we can have the word biggest. From the word lowest, you can have the word most. Right? And also, let's key in the antonym of the word minimum, which is maximum. Meaning until to the high speed of something. So that is minimum all about. So when we say minimum, something that is least, smallest, or lowest in unit. Antonym, something that is greatest, biggest, most, and maximum in speed, possible as well. So let's have the sentence. The workers okay receive minimum wage. Okay, so in here it's very simple. The workers received minimum wage. From the word wage, we mean to say that salary. So from the word minimum, meaning is that these workers only receive least amount of money. It's either because these workers work the low pay job, the easiest, not that easiest job, but something that is not what we call professional work. Okay, so that is the minimum. Next one, let's go on with the word originate. Originate act as a verb. Okay, so when we say from the word originate, from the word arise, begin. Next, from the word begin, start. Next, come from. Originate, born. Okay, because humans originated from our parents. We are born from our parents. So the antonym for this word, since we have begin, it's very simple. Let's focus on end. Next, finish, conclude. Next, we also have the word terminate. Why is it terminate? Example, you were ended in your job, so you are terminated. Next one, let's use this in a sentence. Okay. They said that, okay, Korean, okay, were originated from Japanese. Is it true, JK? Okay. They said that Koreans were originated from Japanese. Is it true? Okay, so they said, okay, sometimes it's factual, but we are not really sure about, especially me since I'm Filipino, but I know that Filipinos originated from Indonesian, Malaysian culture. Wow, history. Okay, so again, originate meaning is arise, begin, start, come from, born. Antonym, we have end, finish, conclude, terminate in our sentence. Okay, so that would be our last vocab for today. And I hope you will learn again. And please do not forget what we have learned and practice them daily. So I'll just have a review. Again, we have here advise, current, deprive, hesitate, minimum, and we have here originate. So thank you again and good afternoon.